Hi, and welcome again to Young Generation. I'm your host, Jim Perales. Today we have a guest, a returning guest, Michelle B. Vela.
Thank you.
Nice to have you again. I had some questions because a lot of people email me and call me,
Hmm.
and they ask for answers and or how you're going to go by it. But the first question is how do you feel about yellow journalism and the attacks toward you and your family and how it's has impacted you?
Okay, well, yellow journalism, it's out there. It's still out there today currently. And I think that's an important subject to speak about, especially in today's society, that the yellow journalism consists of misleading stories that are portrayed out there to the community and not the actual facts based on the actual facts, right, of the story. And so if it wasn't for shows like yourself that have us come on and speak about truly facts and not misleading stories, then the community would see something totally different. And so with yellow journalism out there currently, it portrays a different story than what's actually occurring currently. And so it makes an individual become someone that they're not or portray them to be someone that they're not. And that's, that's unfortunate for an individual. It's unfortunate for a family, especially for me since I'm actually running for Bexar County Sheriff and in politics. I want my community to know facts about me. I want them to know who I am, what I stand for, and the impact that yellow journalism has on anyone, especially someone in politics or anyone in general. The family actually is impacted by it. Every family is impacted by it. And it's unfortunate because, everyone that runs for a seat is still a human being. So we're still moms and dads, and we have, children, sons and daughters. And, it's not fair to the family to have misleading stories portrayed out there. But I have to hand it to my family. I have a tough family. I guess they, take after their mama and their daddy. So, they just stand up as long as they know the truth and keep moving forward. And that's really what it's about. True to yourself, correct? And that's how we teach our kids to be true to themselves and keep moving forward. And if someone knows you, gets to know you on a personal level, or comes out, for example, in politics, if you're in office and they get to know you as the elected official, they truly, sincerely can make a sincere decision based on what they know about you and not the yellow journalism or the misleading stories that are out there.
Next question: what are the qualifications to be the next Bexar County Sheriffs?
Sure. Well, I'm a peace officer. I went to school for that, and we are a business owner. So I have the business background behind me in order to handle budget management, decisions and so forth. I am a licensed paralegal, and so I have studied very various amounts of law enforcement. So I have different certifications in law enforcement, from training from, as simple as learning a handcuffing technique, and then going up into learning some of the civil process classes, criminal classes, and so forth, and be very familiar with the criminal code, the CCP. So it's very important that we're aware of both criminal and civil law. It's, today's society, an officer, you can never get enough training. And so going back to the classroom is something that we never stop doing. You can never stop learning. I can never stop learning. So I'm a big encouragement about getting out there and continuing that education to be more efficient as an officer.
Wow. Do you believe that the current Bexar County Sheriff's Administration has allocated the budget wisely?
I'm going to have to disagree on that. I don't believe that the sheriff budget currently or in this administration has been used wisely. We have a lot of taxpayers that are concerned, as well as me and my family, because we're taxpayers too, how the money is being allocated in the Bexar County Sheriff's Department right now. The funding hasn't been used correctly. For example, we can look at overtime on the deputies there, and probably in the past, probably just in 3 months alone, the county or the sheriff's department and or office spent $1.5 million just in overtime in 3 months. That's a tremendous amount of money that's not being used appropriately. And I think that we, or individual like myself, can get in there and look at the budget, especially with the background business that I bring, and see how we can allocate that money wisely for the taxpayer and efficiently too. So, yes.
Wow.
Hmm.
Okay, the other question, do you believe in accepting large contributions, and does it impact your campaign or the views of the elected official?
I don't accept large contributions. I don't think any elected official should. I think that it's very important that, we go based on our own views. And if we accept large contributions into our campaigns, then I truly believe that down the line, it will affect that elected official's decision. And we want to go in there, I want to go in there with a clean mind. I don't want to go in there on a good old boy system or owing any favors to anyone. I want to make the best decision for the community because at the end of the day, the community elected me into the office. So at the end of the day, they're my boss and I answer to them.
Wow, that's a nice one. Uh, Women leadership versus male leadership.
Hmm.
Are women leaders viewed different than male leaders?
Yes, they are, especially in law enforcement. I know in a lot of fields they definitely do, but in law enforcement is where I spent most of my career. When a woman leader or a male leader goes into office, you're viewed differently. You're viewed differently from your employees, from the deputies, from counter individuals that you work alongside. In law enforcement, we have to make some tough decisions sometimes, and sometimes we have to be assertive when we make those decisions. And when a woman steps in and into a position of leadership and has to make those tough decisions, then you're viewed as, wow, she's mean, or wow, I can't believe she's doing that to us. And then when a man steps in and makes a decision, well, yes, sir, I'll do it right away. So we are viewed differently. Same position, same decisions we have to make, but the concept of how we're viewed, it's totally different. And so I would really like for the society and for the individuals that work underneath us to view us as equal, individuals. And that's what I've really pushed, a lot of equality out there where we're viewed the same. We've come a long way. And so, but we still have a long ways to go. And I think it's a topic that needs to be spoken about. It needs to be brought up. And if I reflect back to yellow journalism that's out there, I was reflected as being a mean person out in the street. That's not how it is in law enforcement. Sometimes you have to be assertive, just like any other individual in law enforcement.
It's like being in with the community, right?
Right,
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
Yes, because like I said, you have to make tough decisions. And those tough decisions reflect lives out there. And so, sometimes you do have to be assertive in order for the safety of the community. That's really important. When I go out there, when I'm, actively involved with my community, the number one priority is to serve and protect that individual and the community.
How do you feel about being the voice of the community and
Hmm.
addressing the community's rights? I know you explained right now, but if you
Hmm.
could give us a little bit more about the community
Sure.
rights.
Sure. Everybody knows I'm one of those individuals and elected officials that if I believe the community is right, I will take a stand with them. I have no hesitation to go down to the steps of the courthouse and advocate for what is right for our community and what they believe in and what I believe in with them too. It always goes back to the people. And I wouldn't be in office if it wasn't for the community. And the community is a very important part of our society. What I'm wanting to bring here is the concerns that the community has. They have concerns, they have ideas, they have decisions, and they want the elected official to listen to them with respect, correct? And to go forward and push those ideas into the community and with other elected officials at the end of the day. And so it's a team effort. I like to say I'm a team with my community. We work together. And, they kind of use me to push their voice, so therefore I can go forward and speak up for them. And that's right. It's the right thing to do for your community.
Okay. Community and law enforcement trust.
Hmm.
Currently, there is a mistrust for law enforcement from the
Yes.
community.
Mm.
How do you plan to address this concern?
Again, it's getting involved with the community. I've done it before in the past where I get out, I learn about my community. I get to know my community. My community gets to know me. I get to work alongside them as well as, the individuals working alongside me. And so we begin to build a trust together. It starts from the top before it can go down to the bottom. So strong leadership is very important. And how you portray yourself out there as a strong leader really is an important impact on your office and your employees or your deputies underneath you. And so I get out there, like I said, I'm very involved with them. It's about the community and being involved in actually having them come out to the actual office. Of course, my goal is to get to the Bexar County Sheriff's Office and have the community continue to go out there with me, work alongside me, get involved in my office alongside me, and that's the building relationship that we start getting together on. They visit me, they get active in the office, they get to know the deputies, do some write-outs with them, get to know what kind of operations we do within the office. And so therefore they actually feel of being part of the office too. And going forward, I'd like to bring some community boards together where I can get individuals, across Bexar County to come in, sit on the board with us, with me, of course, and let's talk about tough issues. Let's talk about the concerns that they have for the Bexar County Jail. Let's talk about the concerns they have in general, just overall with the Bexar County Sheriff's Office, and see if we can come together with solutions. Maybe invite other elected officials to sit on the table with us. Maybe perhaps more law enforcement, more community members, more advocates. We need to get involved together as a team in order to have a better society in Bexar County.
Okay, tell me about your family support.
Well, I have really great family support. I couldn't take my hat off enough to my husband, who stands alongside me every day. Through the first time I decided to take the journey as an elected official, till now in my new journey now as campaigning for the Bexar County Sheriff's Office. And so he's standing there, he's standing strong, so are my children. They support me, and they're going to stand there with me. As long as they know that I'm doing the right thing, for the right reasons, they're going to be there with me.
Okay, why should the community vote for you, and what makes you different from the current sheriff candidates?
Sure. Well, again, too, I've spoken about strong leadership. I've been there. I've been in the fight. I've stood up against corruption in Bexar County, and that's a tough thing to do here in Bexar County. That's something that's not spoken about a lot within the elected officials, but it's something that's spoken about a lot in our community, corruption. And so as elected officials or as a candidate for an office, that is a topic that we need to address. That's a topic that we need to sit down together with the community and figure out solutions to stop corruption. It affects everyone within Bexar County, community members, elected officials, candidates, moms, dads, grandma, grandpas, sons and daughters. It affects every single one of us. And so how can we work together to end corruption? And also to bring the fairness to our community, to all individuals across the board. It doesn't matter what kind of walk of life that you come from. Everybody should be treated fairly and equally within Bexar County. And so currently right now, there's some tough subjects with corruption here in Bexar County. And through our criminal justice system, a lot of individuals are not being treated fairly or not having the fair due process that they deserve here within Bexar County. And a lot of it, again, falls back to high contributions into campaigns here in Bexar County. And so that affects the elected official that, he or she may sit on the seat to make a decision, or perhaps, an elected official in law enforcement. And so are these individuals that are accepting high contributions, are they really for ending corruption here in Bexar County? And so I encourage the community to look into that, to look into me. I fought against corruption. I've stood at the steps of the courthouse and advocated against that. And for that, that's where yellow journalism came in. And so they portrayed me to be someone that I wasn't, because I didn't want to be the individual to just follow the career politicians around. I actually stood with my community. And I'm going to continue to stand with the community, with my community, because we're a team together. And we're going to go forward. And when they come to my office and they voice a concern, I'm going to sit down and I'm going to listen to it. I had an open door policy at my previous office before, and so I'm going to continue that. And that's what makes me unique from the other candidates or the current sheriff, is that I actually make time to sit down and listen to concerns from my community. If I'm in a meeting or if I'm away from the office for a bit, I still make it possible to make contact with that individual because they have a concern and they want to reach me and they want me to hear their concern. And so I'm going to make it happen. So again, I've been that tough leader. I've stood with my community. I'm different because I don't join the good old boy system. I refuse to. The other candidates that currently in the race, well, the reason why I'm different from them is I've already been there. I've done it. I fought the battles already. I stood up against intimidation. I stood up against corruption. I've stood up against the good old boy system, and I'm going to continue to do that. And I was there at the steps of the courthouse, and I welcome anyone to come and stand with me, even the current candidates in the race. And so they've had the opportunity to go down to the steps of the courthouse, stand alongside me, and fight the corruption. I have yet to, see any of them do that. But again, it's not about them, it's about me and my community. And so I'm going to stand with my community. And if it's just me standing there voicing their concerns, I'm okay with that. I'm good with that. I've done it before, and I'll do it again because I truly believe in my community, and I truly believe that we have good individuals in our community from all walks of life, no matter where you come from, no matter what kind of background you have or what kind of upbringing you have. Everybody should be given, again, that fair opportunity to succeed within life. And another thing I look out is the children in our community today. Our children are a very important part of our society. And so, getting involved with our children, our youth, getting them to understand the importance of, voting also. And so I encourage everyone to come out and do the voting and get involved. And if you're not a voter, I encourage you to register to become a voter because your voice matters. Every voice matters and every vote matters. And if you want positive change, if you want new change, if you want someone that's going to go out there and fight for you and your voice and your opinions and what you believe in, then I'm the best candidate here for the next Bexar County Sheriff. I've done it, been there, like I said, and I'm looking forward to it again. And so we'll see. Upcoming time here is pretty soon, February 18th to the 28th. Early voting.
The early voting,
Yes,
yeah.
sir. And then, of course, the election day, it's going to be, the primary would be March 3rd. So come on out and vote for me as your next Bexar County Sheriff. And, I definitely will always make time for my community.
Can I put in this question because
Sure.
a lot of people they're asking for an answer, and I don't. I told them I don't know. I got. What would your issues for the Bexar County Jail be?
Sure. Well, there's a lot of issues going on right now. We have mental health issues. We have high, tremendous rates of suicides. We have inmates being released, and we have a lot of deputies that are doing a lot of overtime, and this is high stress on them as well as extreme, overtime of hours. Personally, I believe that it's kind of like being drunk, or DWI, same thing. After a while, your body is going to start cutting down. These individuals are working so many hours that they're exhausted and they can't make, informed decisions. And so that needs to be addressed. But again, it's just so many things, budget-wise, suicides, mental health, releases of inmates, individuals being sent to prison that don't belong there. And so, yes, there's a lot of topics that need to be addressed. Management structure, too, is another one that needs to be addressed within the Bexar County jail.
How would you find deputies, the hiring screen process?
Sure, I think we need to take a look at that. We need to go in there, do some analysis. We need to do some audits, of course. But as far as the hiring board process, that's something that needs to be reviewed again and see how we can make it more efficient as far as screening individuals that are being hired into the Bexar County jail or the Bexar County office. And so that is something that definitely needs to be looked at as well as the Bexar County policy on the chases that are currently going on right now. And so that needs to be addressed and reviewed also.
And yeah, your impact, I wanted to, like from the media, yellow journalism.
Mm-hmm.
How did that affect you, or how does it?
Well, I think it's made me a stronger person. Definitely has made me a stronger person. You know, I always want to take a negative and turn it into a positive. And so what I do is that I get up every day, every morning, get dressed and go back out into my community and I talk with them and speak with them. And I get to know them even more on a more, daily basis. And so I guess the impact would be it made me a stronger person and made me understand that sometimes not everyone's always going to agree with you, and I'm okay with that. But it doesn't mean that you will not, as an individual or as an elected official, impact our society out there. Because at the end of the day, I truly believe I have impacted our Bexar County, our Bexar County, just in general. You know, if we look back at the office that I was in charge of, the Constable's Precinct 2, you know, we have over 11 candidates that joined this race. And I would like to think that part of that reason is because I advocated for the constables so much and I brought the awareness of what the constable's office stood for. And so, yes, it did make a good impact on me in a good way. But I never want to take it as a negative. Now, if I took it as a negative, then I probably wouldn't get out of bed and I wouldn't get back out there in our society. So I have to take it as a positive and keep moving forward.
What would you, in closing, what would you like to tell the people?
Sure, I encourage everyone to come out and vote on early voting and primary. Pick me as your next Bexar County Sheriff. I am a strong leader. I'm willing to be the voice of the community. I believe in equality and standing for what is right at the end of the day. And we need to look at our jail standards. We need to look at the issues within the Bexar County jail system, suicides, mental health, you know, inmates being released, inmates being sent over to prison that don't belong there, inmates actually being released and lost. And so there's a lot of concerns out there, high, tremendous rates of overtime for these law enforcement officers, and high arrests of law enforcement in Bexar County Sheriff's Office. So that's an issue too that needs to be looked at. So I encourage everyone to come out. Your vote matters, you matter, your voice matters, and together we can continue to make the difference. Together we can continue to fight corruption, and together we can work as one team for the better of our society. So I really appreciate your time.
Okay. Well, thank you all for joining the show. This is Michelle Vela. She's running for Bexar County Sheriff. And don't forget that the early voting is February 18th to the 28th, and the primary is March the 3rd. We'll see you all on the next show. Thank you for coming out.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
I want to thank your husband too, Carlos Vela, for being a good supporter. He's the muscle man too of the community.
Yes.
And he likes the positive instead of the negative.
He does.
And that's what I really notice about him. And thank you for being on the show. And we'll see you all next time on Young Generation Presents. Thank you.